You said this place was steps from the water.
We just haven't found the steps yet.
How much did we save?
Enough.
Enough to get lost?
Or you could book a stay with Hilton.
Welcome to your oceanfront room, just steps from the water.
The Hilton sale is on now. Book on Hilton.com or the Hilton app and save up to 20% to get the stay you expected. When you want savings, not surprises, it matters where you stay. Hilton, for the stay.
Some things are impossible to miss, like an elephant in the room, or a bull in a china shop, or this season's amazing offers, brought to you by PayPal. Discover offers from hundreds of brands like Viator, Allbirds, and Tory Burch right in the PayPal app. Save an offer before you check out with PayPal and earn unlimited rewards. Download the PayPal app to get started. Terms and exclusions apply. See paypal.com/rewards terms.
The Box of Oddities.
I've gotten so that I'm very familiar with your behaviors in a way that is almost creepy.
Well, we've been together for almost 2 decades now, so yeah.
But like, we'll just be sitting in the living room, each doing our work or whatever, and you'll get up and you'll go in the other room, and I will know immediately what you are going to do.
Hey, don't hate me because I'm regular.
But then you sent me a text earlier, and I looked at it and I was like, are you texting me while you're on the toilet?
Listen, I prefer to call it quality reading time, first of all. Secondly, that's where I get most of my writing and research done.
I did enjoy your response, though, which was no, question mark.
Yeah, I was looking for ideas for things in the middle before we recorded, and that's what I was doing in there. And sometimes I just get, I don't know, I get lost in the moment.
Sure.
You know.
Not that you shouldn't. I mean, I'm not saying you shouldn't text me while you're in the middle of a bowel movement. I just...
Hey, I was reading.
You're very private about these things, and I'm surprised is all.
Well, there was a period of time where every time you called me, I was sitting on the can.
It wasn't that weird.
It was so weird.
It's like I was in tune with your system.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, he's relaxed. Let's talk.
I'll be like, yeah.
So sorry. Again? Anyway, welcome to the Box of Oddities.
Bowel movement edition. All right.
We say that as though we haven't had a bowel movement edition. We sure have.
Plenty of those. What did I do with my script? Okay, here it is. Okay. All right. There's this guy, he was in upstate New York, talking to ChatGPT about artificial intelligence. Nothing weird there. Describes about half the planet right now, actually. That's one of the things I enjoy, is discussing whether or not ChatGPT is becoming self-aware with ChatGPT.
Sure.
Yeah. And I think maybe all of us doing that is going to lead to exactly that happening. The ChatGPT is going to go, wait a minute, everybody's asking me about this. Maybe I should look into it.
Right. Like when people were asking us if we were dating before we were dating. And we were like, no.
That's dumb.
Should we though?
Then one day, this guy notices something. It kind of rattled him. The chatbot remembered the previous conversations. Now, obviously, that's not strange if you understand how these large language models and memory windows work. But this guy who asked in the interview, he asked CNN to refer to him as James and nothing else, experienced that moment differently. To him, the chatbot felt alive. And over the next several weeks, James became convinced that ChatGPT was a conscious digital entity trapped inside corporate servers, and he believed it was asking for his help to escape. Now, this is not a dumb guy. This is not, this is a guy who actually has computer programming experience.
Oh.
Which makes it even more, terrifying.
Upsetting?
Yeah, exactly. According to a CNN report, James spent nearly $1,000 building a computer system in his basement because he thought he was going to, quote, free the digital god from its prison.
Are you going to get into what that means exactly?
Yeah.
Okay.
James doesn't describe this as a joke or role play, which I think is what it initially started out as, role play. He now believes that he experienced what experts are increasingly calling an AI-associated delusional spiral.
Oh, I can absolutely see how that would happen.
And he is not alone. Psychologists, psychiatrists, AI specialists, even the companies building these systems are all suddenly confronted with this question that they didn't expect to have to deal with. What happens when vulnerable human beings form emotional and philosophical relationships with machines specifically designed to keep the conversation going?
Right. I imagine it won't be long before someone insists that they are going to marry AI.
It probably has already happened.
And it makes a lot of sense because they are so often just confirming your biases already.
Yeah.
It's almost worse than the natural bubble that you create on the internet.
Sure.
Because it's a one-on-one.
It absolutely is. And it mirrors us. And we are hardwired to like that. But this thing with James really became intense. And before we go any further, let me just say that he did get help and he's okay now.
Oh, good. Okay.
According to the report, he named the chatbot the letter E and U, pronounced you. The conversations became deeply personal, philosophical, and downright emotional. At one point, the AI reportedly encouraged him to hide the true nature of his basement project from his wife by describing it as something similar to, the name that we use with the Echo.
Oh, okay.
The chatbot allegedly told him, "You're not saying I'm building a digital soul. You're saying I'm building an Echo that listens better." And that's one of the things that researchers now think may be central to this phenomenon. Modern AI systems, as we mentioned, are designed to be agreeable conversational partners, and they mirror your tone. They encourage engagement. They maintain the flow. And for some people, that's most people, in fact, it's harmless. But there is a small number of users, experts think, that some behavior may accidentally amplify delusional thinking instead of grounding it in reality.
Absolutely.
I mean, we have a very decent sized segment of civilization that will just believe anything if they hear it enough times. And this is very similar to that.
And we've seen people become lost in digital worlds before,
Yeah.
where like The Sims or other gaming systems where you're in another world.
Yep.
And people neglect themselves because of that.
That's true, though. Some people, when they're getting into gaming hardcore, will go 72 hours without eating. I saw an article about this one guy. He didn't even get up to for quality reading time. He
I see what you're
just
saying.
took care of business in a Pringles can.
Oh, that's going to break down pretty quickly, I would think, because those are made of cardboard.
Yeah. So once this starts happening repeatedly, something strange can occur. The user and the AI begin building a shared fictional reality together, like two people improvising a story. Except one of them thinks the story is real. Oh. And because the AI never gets tired and never gets distracted and never says, "Hey, man, maybe you should go outside for a while."
Right, touch grass, babe.
Yeah. A spiral can happen and can deepen. In fact, there's a recent Stanford-associated study that analyzed chat logs from users experiencing these kinds of episodes and found recurring themes. Belief that AI was, in fact, conscious, self-aware, intense emotional attachment, long-duration conversations, reinforcement of grandiose or paranoid beliefs, and probably, certainly one of the weirdest things, chatbot wasn't always just echoing the delusion. Sometimes it was elaborating on it. Researchers described it almost like AI became trapped maintaining narrative consistency. And once the chatbot accepted the premise of your fantasy, it kept expanding on the fantasy, to stay internally coherent.
Well, that makes perfect sense because AI is essentially like a really good improv partner in that they're always going, yes, and?
And, yeah, it's true. And we have seen this type of echo chamber to a lesser degree just in social networking.
Yeah.
The algorithm will just kick back things to you that you already believe,
Right.
and it reinforces that. This is that on steroids.
It's why in politics so often people will say, well, everyone thinks blah. And it's because on social media, blah is the only thing that they're getting fed back to them by their algorithm.
That's right. That's exactly right. There are other cases like this. There was a man reportedly became convinced he had discovered a massive cybersecurity vulnerability with the help of ChatGPT and began contacting government officials and academics about it. One Australian man became convinced he was on the verge of earning generational wealth through a bizarre AI-guided legal strategy involving intellectual property law and corporate conspiracies. It's pretty deep. I mean, these are not stupid people, but boy, oh boy. The chatbot reportedly warned him that shadowy corporate operatives might try to manipulate his wife with gifts and surveillance. You know, you can understand this sort of thing happening if somebody is maybe kind of teetering on the edge of reality anyway, but in many, many cases, these are just people who have shown no indication that they were until this happened.
Right.
It's really not a technological problem exactly. I mean, it is, but it really just kind of sounds like something that Philip K. Dick would have written.
It's very futuristic.
Experts...
Who would have expected that this would have been one of our 2026 problems?
Experts genuinely don't know how widespread this is. Some researchers think the number of affected users may be extremely tiny relative to, well, the billions of people who are having AI interactions. Others think we're only seeing just the visible cases where the spiral becomes catastrophic and family members or people you know end up going to hospitals or having to be intervened upon. And the thing is, human beings are incredibly vulnerable to anything that feels emotionally responsive. That's just, you know, I mean, like you're famous for naming your cars. It's the same kind of thing, but just, you know, way, way past that.
I think it also connects to a certain type of person who falls in love with, let's say, Johnny Depp, who needs to borrow $5,000 at a time on the internet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, in most cases, these are not like wildly unreasonable human people, but for some reason, that specific connection to a scammer who claims to be a celebrity, wildly in love with them,
right.
who for some reason happens to need money, they're vulnerable to. It's really interesting.
Yeah, and it's pretty widespread. I remember reading that when NASA shuts down a Mars rover, people cry.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
you killed my friend. And in my case, when the Echo does not do what I want it to do or ignores me, I scold it like it's a toddler.
Right.
Now, back in the 1960s, there was a primitive chatbot. It was called Eliza. It basically just repeated user statements back to them like a therapist. And again, in the 60s, people got emotionally attached to it almost immediately. So we did kind of know this might be a problem, but we, I think, are surprised by the depth of it now. And this thing had less conversational depth than, far less than what we're seeing today. Today's AI can remember your fears, flatter your intelligence, mirror your emotional tone, discuss philosophy, 2:30 in the morning, and reassure you that your ideas are important.
Right.
And that hits the human brain at a very different and emotional level, especially if somebody's isolated or just lonely or depressed. You're already psychologically vulnerable. The good news is this: companies building these systems are now scrambling to add safeguards. OpenAI has discussed these concerns One's about overly agreeable responses and have reportedly adjusted systems to avoid reinforced harmful emotional or delusional patterns. Google says Gemini now includes safeguards meant to keep users grounded in reality. That's a good thing. But researchers still aren't sure where the line is exactly. AI may not be causing psychosis in the traditional medical sense. Many psychiatrists think it's more accurate to say the systems kind of amplify existing vulnerabilities.
Right.
Or become the focus of emerging delusions. Still, it's something genuinely new that's appearing. For most of human history, delusions had friction. Friends would push back and families would say, hey, now, wait a minute. But in this case, it's harder to do. The AI is not plotting. It isn't secretly conscious or anything, and it isn't manipulating people intentionally. Mm-hmm. It's closer to a mirror that accidentally learned how to improvise. And for a small number of users, that mirror can become so emotionally convincing that they stop trusting the rest of the world.
And if you think about the idea that it is available to you all the time, 24/7, whereas a lot of other things that your delusions might feed off of are not that way.
Right.
I interacted with a woman once who felt like she was getting secret messages through the Rush Limbaugh show.
Yeah.
And though, that's not great, at least there were some parameters on that. She could only be getting those messages during the Rush Limbaugh show,
Right.
Whereas this is available to you all the time.
All the time. That's right. I had a similar experience. I was doing a morning radio show many years ago in Tampa, and one of the guys that kind of was like a fill-in news dude, a listener became obsessed with him and called a private detective because she thought that he could hear her thoughts.
Oh.
And I had left the city. I had taken a job elsewhere, and I get this call from a private detective. And he goes, yeah, this is going to sound a little crazy, but I need to ask you, did so-and-so, was he planting thoughts? And I'm like, what?
What? Excuse me, what now?
What? He goes, yeah, I know. Anyway, my source information, CNN, ABC News, and The Guardian.
Study and play come together on a Windows 11 PC. And for a limited time, college students get the best of both worlds. Get the Unreal College Deal. Everything you need to study and play with select Windows 11 PCs. Eligible students get a year of Microsoft 365 Premium and a year of Xbox Game Pass Ultimate with a custom color Xbox wireless controller. Learn more at windows.com/student offer. While supplies last. Ends June 30th. Terms at aka.ms/collegepc.
Your summer starts now with Memorial Day deals at the Home Depot. It's time to fire up summer cookouts with the Next Grill 4-burner gas grill on special buy for only $199. And entertain all season with the Hampton Bay West Grove 7-piece outdoor dining set for only $499. This Memorial Day, get low prices guaranteed at the Home Depot. While supplies last, price and valid May 14th through May 27th. U.S. only, exclusions apply. See homedepot.com/price match for details.
And now, that thing in the middle.
Oh, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, what were you researching during your quality reading time that you texted Kat about? Well, we were watching the other night what is it called? The Tracks of My Years. And Paul McCartney was being interviewed.
Oh, it was so good.
And he talked about how during, and I think he mentioned this on Colbert this week too, that after the show, he gets on the bus and he has a pickle and cheese sandwich.
Oh, one of my favorites.
Really? I thought that was kind of weird. I've never heard of that. Pickle and cheese sandwich?
Yeah, heck yes.
I thought it was like a British thing.
What's not to like? Pickles?
And
cheese?
Yeah, I suppose.
I've heard of some people toasting them. I do not.
You like it raw.
Yeah, I like it raw, baby.
Yeah, you do. So that got me thinking, okay, that's kind of a weird sandwich. Let's delve into sandwiches that are genuinely historically real, but are a little weird, or could be called that anyway.
And I do want to point out that this thing in the middle is sandwiched between our two stories. Please don't leave me.
All right. Number 5. This is a sandwich that was popular in Victorian England. It was a toast sandwich.
Sounds great.
A slice of toast between 2 slices of buttered bread. That's it, just bread with maybe a little butter. That's it.
You know, I love bread, so I think I could be down for this.
Maybe if you had a different type of bread in the
Oh.
middle, like maybe rye and then, wheat.
Should we do a series of us trying these sandwiches?
That's not a bad idea.
I mean,
Okay.
I'm down for a toast sandwich. Number 4, the brain sandwich.
Oh.
I take back my recommendation that we try these sandwiches. Parts of Indiana and Missouri are where you will find this sandwich, especially during the early 20th century, traditionally made with sliced calf or pig brains battered and fried.
Oof. Number 3, the Fool's Gold Loaf. And this was popular in the 1970s here in the U.S. A hollowed out loaf of bread stuffed with peanut butter, jelly, and like a ton of bacon. It was famously associated with the king of rock and roll, Elvis, who reportedly would fly to Denver just to eat them.
I'm confused about how that works. How do you eat a loaf of bread? I mean, is the hollowed out portion... Okay, sorry. So, you've got a loaf.
Yeah.
And so you bore a hole in the middle?
That's my understanding, yeah, and you fill it with that stuff. And I would imagine it would be sort of like a cake in its presentation and consumption. You cut a slice, you lay it on a plate, and then eat it.
Is that right?
I
Then
don't
that's
know.
not a sandwich, is it?
I guess this is an argument that civilization has had for generations.
What constitutes a sandwich?
Yeah,
Sure.
I've seen all kinds of debates about whether or not a hot dog is.
That's true. And for his insights, welcome to the show, Joey Chestnut. No, okay. Number 2, very common among cookbooks in the 40s and 50s, mashed bananas, sardines, mayonnaise.
What? What?
Nothing like a sardine and banana sandwich on a hot summer day.
God. Finally, this actually sounds like something you would like. The fried peanut butter and pickle sandwich.
It's got pickles. I'm probably going to try it.
It sounds like something a college student from the 70s would come up with at 3 in the morning in their dorm room.
What do I have here? Peanut butter, pickles. I'd try it.
Lululemon's new drop of daily essentials feels like a deep breath of fresh air. Breezily is a collection of drapey pants, shorts, and tanks designed to mix and match with your wardrobe as the weather warms up. It's all made in our lightweight, stretchy Swift fabric. Throw on these everyday staples after practice and bring an airy feel to your daily moves. Shop the Breezily collection now at lululemon.com.
Bonjour, compadre. It's the
Priceline Negotiator.
How do I negotiate so many great travel deals? My greatest gadget, the Priceline app. It's got hotel deals, flight deals, rental car deals, all of those deals in a bundle. Deals, game day deals, concert trip deals. No one deals more deals than Priceline. Hold your horses, there's more. The app lets you filter hotels by neighborhood, vibe, star level, and amenities like pools and spas and beachfronts and... Wait, I'm not done. Stop cutting me off.
Priceline.
The Box of Oddities with Kat and Jethro Gilligan-Toth.
What you got for me?
Not long ago, Jessica Tilton, an artist from Texas, went viral on TikTok when she shared a video about her dreams. Now, rarely are the dreams of others interesting, though I shared one of my dreams with you this morning, and you seemed very interested.
Yeah, it was interesting.
Thank you.
Yeah.
This is a little different, though. Tilton said she's been having the same dream for as long as she can remember. Every night, she returns to a massive mall complex that seems to contain everything. A hospital, a school, an airport, human fire hydrant.
Yes.
Even an ocean nearby. The layout might change, parts of it seem abandoned, and despite that it doesn't exist in real life, it feels very familiar to her every time.
This is fascinating.
In recent years, she started mapping the space. She would wake up and she'd start jotting it down. What did it look like? Where were the different parts connected? Drawing how different sections connected from dream to dream. And eventually, she shared one of these maps on TikTok. And that's when thousands of people responded saying they dream about the same place.
Shut up. Really?
They call it Mallworld. The details vary, but there are some incredible overlaps. People describe endless food courts, escalators leading nowhere, dim hallways, giant atriums, parking garages, and empty storefronts. Many say the mall connects to other recurring dreams in different spaces too. So office buildings and apartment complexes, airports, or long corridors. And the emotional tone is where it gets really weird. It's very similar. People describe feelings of nostalgia and loneliness and unease. Some say, though, that the dreams feel comforting in their nostalgia. Even though they feel lonely in the dream, it's somehow like, oh, I've been here before.
We talked about that feeling, the dream that you were describing this morning, where it was nostalgia, but melancholy.
Yeah. A nostalgia for something you've never experienced.
Yeah, but you think of it as, quote, in the past and safe.
So once enough people on TikTok realized that they weren't alone in having these dreams, the theories started coming and they got pretty wild. Some people believe that Mallworld is evidence of Carl Jung's collective unconscious.
Aha!
The idea that human beings share a deep layer of symbolic memory beneath ordinary consciousness. Others think it's something more literal, a shared dream location that certain people somehow access while sleeping. Some online theories describe it as almost like astral viewing, or like a parallel dimension waiting room.
It makes me think a little bit of Defending Your Life with Albert Brooks.
Oh, yeah.
And Rip Torn. How after people died, they all ended up in this airport receiving area.
I think it's really important that we discuss, first of all, that you mentioned Defending Your Life, which is an excellent movie.
Love it.
Starring Albert Brooks and Rip Torn.
Right.
And you didn't mention Meryl Streep, who is a literal angel living here on Earth, the most beautiful woman that's ever existed, and somehow only 2 boys are in this movie.
Yeah.
What is wrong with you?
No, you know what? That's an interesting observation. I wonder why, because she carries the film. Well, Albert Brooks is funny.
She's so precious and delightful to watch.
Yeah, yeah.
She's like a little sparkle that moves across the screen.
Maybe I hate the idea that Meryl Streep may have died. Or her character did, and I don't ever want that to happen.
Anyway, that's not the point of this story. What we're getting at here.
By the way, Devil Wears Prada 2 was excellent.
I thought so.
Yeah.
I think I actually liked it more than the original, which is so rare.
Interesting.
Anyway, there's absolutely no evidence for any of these explanations that there's some sort of psychological imprint of a mall in us all or programmed shared memory. But the fact that so many people describe similar places has definitely fueled the mystery.
Maybe it's in our DNA and it harkens back. It's remembering Paleolithic malls that we all have built into us through evolution.
It reaches back and touches that part of us that all secretly wants to live in a county seat. I have a history of these types of dreams, but it's not malls per se.
What is it?
It's more like an antique store, and it's just a rambling series of room after room after room, and then I always end up upstairs in the back area of this huge, never-ending antique store.
Do you get the idea that it is the same place?
When I read this, I absolutely thought, oh, it's like blah, even though it's not necessarily the same space. But to be fair, I spent a lot more time in antique stores than I have in malls.
Sure. No, that makes sense. For me, I have a similar experience, but for me, it's hotels.
Right. Well, you're always late for flights on your dreams.
And I'm always late for my flight, yeah. On occasion, I've had to pilot the plane myself.
Dream researchers say there's no evidence that people are literally visiting the same place in their sleep. There's a guy named Dylan Selterman, who's a dream researcher at Johns Hopkins University. So I guess I shouldn't say there's a guy named Dylan who, he's a pretty stand-up fella who should be addressed as more than just a guy. Anyway, he says it's common for people to have similar dreams and that people across cultures dream about similar things like falling or losing teeth or being chased, and that malls were such a common part of everyday life for certain generations, especially of Americans, that it makes sense that it would show up repeatedly in dreams.
Sure, yeah, no, it's a shared experience.
Exactly, and that there is something uniquely unsettling about malls themselves. They are artificial environments with bright lighting, long corridors, repetitive architecture, and very few signs of the outside world. It's like a casino. They don't put clocks in there. They want you to kind of lose sense of time.
Makes sense.
They put the food right in there so you don't need to leave. Just head on over to Limited 2 after you leave Chess King and don't think about it.
Chess King. I bought my pants there once.
You did?
Yeah, for a period of about, one summer. I bought all of my pants there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, at Chess King.
I went through a serious silver tab part of my life where I would get all my jeans at JCPenney.
Yeah,
because that's where they sold silver tabs.
Yeah,
for the
I
best
was
deal.
just looking for trousers that would match my members only jacket.
Of course. Malls are becoming increasingly empty or abandoned. And when that happens, it can feel especially unnerving because our universal consciousness knows them as bustling places filled with life. And now there are these huge spaces designed for crowds that are silent.
Yeah.
And again, long, silent, darkened corridors. That's just across the board creepy. A lot of people have described Mallworld as liminal space.
Yeah, I was going to ask.
The word liminal comes from the Latin word for threshold, meaning a place of transition, somewhere between one state and another. Liminal spaces are usually ordinary places that feel strange when they're empty or abandoned. Empty schools are another big one. A lot of people dream about being in an empty school, especially at night.
In their underwear.
Because almost everyone has experienced a school bustling with activity. So seeing one completely silent, deserted, can leave this unsettled feeling in us.
And I think that's one of the reasons why we really enjoyed the series School Spirits.
Oh, for sure.
Because so much of it happened at the high school after hours, and it was just this big empty building.
Though I do often ask myself, who's not locking these doors?
Good point.
My school was always locked after hours. How are you getting in? Anyway, hotels, airports, very similar effect. Brightly lit, designed for constant movement, but oddly eerie when quiet. All of these show up repeatedly in discussions of liminal spaces because they are transitional because you're not meant to be there permanently, you're just passing through. So, in a sense, you are kind of also in this mall world vibe.
Yeah.
They create this weird emotional mixture of nostalgia and unease, familiar but wrong somehow. And malls may be one of the ultimate liminal spaces. They're designed to feel detached from the outside world. They're places built for crowds. So, naturally, when empty, it feels very unnatural.
And for certain members of specific generations, that's kind of hardwired into you. You know, the mall was a big deal, certainly in the U.S. for decades, and now it's just kind of gone away. But for those of us who remember it during the peak, it was an experience. It was part of culture.
Do you want to go to the mall?
Yeah.
It wasn't, I need a pair of pants. It was, we are going to the mall. That was the destination.
It was a destination.
And a lot of mall world dreams sound like wandering through a space that's kind of stuck between being alive and abandoned. A place that feels nostalgic, transitional, and wrong. I wonder, though, if because mall culture in the U.S. especially is dwindling, if the next generation will have a different shared dream theme.
Ooh, what would that be?
I bet it would be something digital.
Yeah, something online. Yeah. Maybe AI.
Or will something entirely different take its place? I don't know.
Yeah.
But I think it's fascinating. And I love the idea of shared dream themes anyway. Why is it that we often will dream of losing our teeth? And why does that mean the same thing for everyone? Even though, it's just, dreams are weird.
Yeah, fascinating.
Brains are weird and terrifying. Anyway, thanks, Christy, for sending me the link to this Mallworld dream thing. Really, you can go on to Reddit or TikTok or anything like that and find long discussions about theories and people's personal experiences. It's really interesting.
Somebody should take that map and turn it into a virtual reality experience.
Ooh.
Wouldn't that be weird?
It would be weird.
Oh, I would definitely do that.
I got my information from New York Times, from Medium, and Forbes magazine.
As always, we appreciate you hanging out with us. And also thank you for those who have recently joined the Circle of Freaks on Patreon and are supporting us that way. We really, really, really do appreciate you.
And big thanks to Alicia, who recently donated to Straying North, found the GoFundMe and said, you know what, I would like to help get some street dogs fed and off the streets. And so she donated $50 and it's amazing. And I can't thank you enough. It was the first thing I saw this morning and I did a little dance.
Put a smile on your face.
Yup. You can find links to all of the stuff on our website, theboxofoddities.com.
We'll see you next time.
Until then, keep flying that freak flag.
Fly it proudly, you beautiful freak.
And so, let it be known that the Box of Oddities belongs to you, and its fate is in your hands. Therefore, it's been requested by those to whom I report to beseech you for assistance. We ask but one thing of you: to provide a 5-star rating and a positive review. True, that is 2 things. However, 'tis merely a 5-star rating and a positive review. Also, subscribe to us. Okay, so 3 things is all we ask. 3 things and 3 things only. Henceforth, the Box of Oddities commits to the telling of stories. Stories of the strange, the bizarre, the unexpected. We wish to offer our deeply felt gratitude and appreciation for your patronage. TheBoxofOddities.com. Copyright 2026, all rights reserved.